guys, today I'm here with a tutorial for Vainglory. This is how to use Glaive. This is actually a general tip. You want to know what you're gonna buy before you get to the shop. This will prevent you from getting ganked in the bush while you're trying to decide, what should I get? And here's how to use the skills. Save Afterburn while you're farming, pretty much. You will always need it. Look at that. Prevents a death. Another good use of Afterburn is to knock the opponent back into your turret or into a scout trap. I usually hide in these bushes right here when they get too close. Shoot a little behind them, walk forward to knock them forward. Look at that. The turret launch. Let's see that again. See, you always want to use Afterburn a little bit behind where you want to launch them, because you don't want to knock them forward, you want to knock them backwards. Another easy way to get assists is to use Afterburn and knock back the opponent into your teammates for the easy kill. It's like a pizza delivery, that's why I call it the delivery. Some fresh taka right to your teammates. Favorite part about Afterburn is using it through thin walls, such as this one. As you can see, it just destroys it. Another example. For the first BLOODSONG tip, always make sure that you have high stacks. The number of stacks you have is found in the bottom left corner of your screen. The second tip is just the combo order that I always use. Usually BLOODSONG, Twisted Stroke, and then Afterburn for the chase down. Because often, if you do BLOODSONG and Twisted Stroke, they'll be extremely low and start running, and you'll need to catch up. Here's my skill build: maximum Afterburn, 4 Twisted Stroke, and 3 BLOODSONG. The reason for maximum Afterburn is because of the cooldown. It's tremendously short. With Clockwork, which is an item I often use, you can often get a 6-second cooldown on Afterburn, and that's extremely important if you're a Glaive who likes to deliver the enemy into your teammates' hands or launch them into turrets, or for chase downs. So here's my item builds. Items are pretty important and one of the most important aspects of the game. Alright, so here's my early game items. I have a potion, sprint boots, iron guard contract, 6 guns, hourglass, and I think that's a blazing salvo, I don't know though. So the two most important parts are to get the weapon damage and attack speed boots. Those are Glaive's main sources of damage. I use an hourglass because of the cooldown acceleration. I will upgrade that to a clockwork later on. And the iron guard contract is for faster money while farming. The sprint boots are basically for catching up with fleeing opponents. You can combine that with Afterburn to catch anyone who's low. And then the potions are just to prevent deaths. They're very preventable in the early game, and you want to do it as little as possible. And now for the mid-game items. Before I begin, I just want to let you guys know I usually buy a counter armor here. As you can see, I am checking for the types of item that the opponent is using. I see that they're using mostly attack damage items, so I build the corresponding armor, which is the coat of plates, I believe. So now for the actual mid-game items, you want to have 2 final tier items. In this case, I use Sorrow Blade and Clockwork. I usually actually get Tornado Trigger and Sorrow Blade first, but I had to react to this team. And then by this point you should also have the second tier boots, and sometimes I even get rid of Iron Guard contract and put down another attack speed item. Right, now for the endgame items, I usually have 3 core items that I always try to build, which are Tornado Trigger, Sorrow Blade, and the reactionary armor, which in this case is Full Metal Jacket. The first exchangeable item is Serpent Mask. If I see they're building armor to kind of counter my attack damage, then I'll build a Tension Bow with Armor Pierce. By this point, sometimes I usually have the tier 3 boots instead of the tier 2. And the Clockwork can be exchanged for another defensive item if the enemy team has gone full nuke, which is usually I use Aegis or Crucible. That's pretty much it. Subscribe and thanks for watching.